Welcome to Those Forking Fangirls, where we talk all things nerdy book, TV, movie, pop culture, fandoms, and how they integrate into our adult lives. I'm Christine.
And I'm Natasha.
And today we're talking all things Marvel, which is an enormous topic. So we'll probably do multiple episodes spanning this over, however long of a time. But today we're opening it up. We are so excited to have a very special guest with us, Taya Miller, cosplay wizardress, craft queen, Marvel extraordinaire. Thanks for being here with us live.
Thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
Do you want to tell us anything about yourself, just to reintroduce yourself? She was on her Gen Z versus Millennial episode. Which was a lot of fun. If you missed it, you should go check it out. But anything you want to just tell people?
Hey. I'm just a girl
in an ordinary world.
living in a world, No, I'm Taya, and I'm specifically on this Marvel episode because I feel like a lot of the brand that I have built for myself on social media has a lot to do with Marvel. So
yeah,
I'm here to talk about it.
Nice. Well, we're so excited to jump into Marvel, but first, as always, we're going to go into Snap, Crackle, Pop Culture news. We're going to open today with Today and Taylor Swift. She was at the game yesterday, the Chiefs game. I missed all the stuff because I was editing. Did you see? Were there any good things?
She was very mad.
She was mad?
They lost.
Oh, no.
She was also wearing Brittany Mahomes' jacket. She borrowed it from her.
How do we know it was Brittany Mahomes'
Because Brittany Mahomes was wearing it last year when she was pregnant. And it's the same jacket. So they're on that level of bestie now.
I mean, I think they're just they're new friends. They're new close friends. I love that Taylor went to Beyonce's premiere, the Renaissance premiere, and she wore a disco ball dress, a classic mirror ball.
Did you see the snake?
Okay, I actually saw another post where it's they actually got the design and it was actually a leaf. It just looked like a snake.
I kind of like that better, honestly, because I was like this was Beyonce's moment, and then she showed up with the snake, and I was a little so I'm happy. I'm happy it was a mistake.
There's this iconic photo of Taylor and Blake Lively. It looks like Blake was her date to the Renaissance premiere, and Blake is prom photoing her almost from behind with her hand on her thigh. Yeah, and it's become a meme instantly. And I love that Ryan Reynolds posted a version of it on his Instagram with his face and Travis's face over Taylor.
It was Travis's face?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yes, over Taylor and Blake's faces.
I thought he just put his face on there twice.
No. I just thought it was the same.
So
person.
funny.
Yes. Oh my God, it was
do you
great.
think Taylor and Travis have been together longer than we've been aware of it?
No.
A little bit, just a tiny bit. I think they've just been talking a little longer.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I think we are seeing a lot of their first date stuff. Mm-hmm. Another thing that dropped this week, Jack Antonoff posted, because You're Losing Me finally got streaming on all the platforms. And Jack Antonoff posted that she wrote it in December or November of 2021.
December 5th, 2021.
Okay, December 5th, 2021. You know the exact date.
I'm really good at dates.
I usually am, but I've been so preoccupied. I missed it. But yeah, so I mean, she's been having issues with Joe for a long time, as we know if we dissected folklore.
You did, not me. I was this is just little stories. They're fine.
But it's just very confirmed by the fact that Jack clearly didn't love him at that point for him to even post about it now.
There was also Miles Teller's wife.
Yeah, she liked a TikTok talking about this, which means confirmed.
Yes.
So someone made a TikTok about how clearly Joe was messing with our girl for a long time because of all these posts that came out when You're Losing Me came out, all her friends posting. And his wife liked that TikTok. So it was confirming basically that what she was saying was kind of accurate.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah. I need her to go watch my folklore videos so she can like that and confirm my theories. Natasha, what do you have for us today?
So Taylor was named Spotify's top global artist of this year.
Yes!
Apparently. So I got in the top 2% on Spotify. She was
3%.
Yeah, she was my number
Amateurs.
one. What did you get?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I don't
you
even
should-
have Spotify.
That's right. Last year I was in the top
I was the top
0.05.
0.052.
Yeah.
The folklore year I think mine was, though. I don't remember what it was last year.
Last year was, because all I listened to was Taylor Swift and the Bridgerton unofficial musical. But apparently you had to listen to over 300,000 minutes of Taylor Swift music to be able to get into that top percentile again.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of competition right now, especially this
I
year's
know, a
been
lot
Taylor's.
of people were messaging me when I posted that I was slipping because I got 3%. They were like, the whole world's listening. So I think it's a little harder to be in the top 3%.
Yeah.
Well, we did it. High fives.
Well, except for her.
Well, she was still in your top, even though you didn't have Spotify. Liam's top, right?
Yeah. I infiltrated my boyfriend's Spotify Wrapped this year. Taylor was, I think, was she his top artist?
Yes, she was his top artist. I just rewatched the video. Yeah. My greatest achievement was getting Taylor as Cole's top artist, which is my
nice.
best friend's husband, because I would just blast Taylor in their house when I was house sitting.
Nice. Oh, and
And
Katie
your
says
brother too.
Oh yeah, and Alex.
yes. Oh yeah, your brother. Katie says she was in the top 1%. Katie, congratulations.
Katie.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing accomplishments in this year, our Lord 2023 of Taylor Swift.
Our Lord and Savior.
Do you have anything else, Natasha?
No, that was
Taya,
it.
what have you got?
I'm veering from the Taylor Swift conversation. Sorry, guys.
Do it.
Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know if you guys are fans of Sabrina Carpenter.
I fucking love Sabrina Carpenter.
Yes. She's on my radar now. She just won the
Oh my
Rising
God, that's a
Star
Britney Spears
Award.
song. She's on my radar.
Didn't she just do a Sabrina? No, or Britney.
Sabrina did a Taylor
Oh, she
cover.
did Taylor. No, that's
Yeah,
what it was.
I know you were trouble.
But yeah, she won the Rising Star Award, and I was,
Oh,
I was really happy
amazing!
for
Wait,
her.
from where? Who
from
gives that?
Variety.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
she is
I'm
a rising
happy
star.
for her. She is, and I'm so excited to see where she's such like pop girl princess.
I know.
Also, if you guys have ever like smelled her perfume, I abide by it. Is
okay, it sells
the
out so
best.
fast that you can't buy it. How did you get it?
Amazon. Duh.
Oh, it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it is on
Oh.
Amazon.
How does it smell like?
Candy.
It's kind of
'Cause
like
that's
it's
how
shaped
she
like a
markets
chocolate
it.
bar.
Yeah.
It's like candy, but with like vanilla, and it's warm.
Ooh, I
like, it's,
love
like,
that.
Sweet.
Yes.
This is oh god, it's so good. I wear it
I
every
like
day.
I need
spicy
it.
scents.
Do you want to smell me? Do you want to get a little?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's you.
I need to
always
smell
wear
you
that.
later.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
I'm so
Oh.
jealous. I'm so far away.
Oh, if
Just
anyone
walks
is
away.
if you're not watching this live, we are actually recording in person.
All together in my apartment, an hour and like 5 minutes later than we were supposed to start because of so many technical difficulties. But we're doing it. We're doing it good.
Yeah, it was a struggle bus because we're recording also in 4K.
Katie's bringing up that Sabrina Carpenter said Jesus was a
Carpenter. Okay, this is news. Okay, so her Feather music video is filmed in this beautiful church, I think in New York City. And in the church where she's filming, there's like all these coffins for like relationships that have died. And she like kind of murders men in the music video. And the priest that gave her permission to film in that church got fired.
Honestly, like that priest, pastor, whatever, it kind of a slay. Like I love him.
I know
Thank
for
you.
letting her. Yeah. It was her best music video yet. It really had Gaga vibes, and I loved it.
But yeah, they asked her, like people were asking like to make a response, and her response was Jesus was a carpenter.
Yes. It was a great response. Like Sabrina Carpenter
Icon
should be
living.
allowed. She's basically related.
I love that. That's
Um,
amazing.
Last on the news stock today, if you haven't heard the last 50 weeks, I'm an author, and my third book, Attached at the Hip, is a Survivor spin-offy rom-com. It's basically like this girl fresh out of college. She is, fresh out of college trying to adult, and she ends up applying to be on Survivor, and then she ends up on a spin-off version where you're attached at the hip, literally, and she ends up attached to the hip to her high school crush who she hasn't seen in 4 years, and they're competing together to win $1 million, and it's a fun ride, and it's available for pre-order now. And pre-orders are really important, and the link is in the show notes if you're interested and want to support my life as an author. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Pre-order it.
Shameless plug.
Every week. All right, we're gonna roll into our main discussion because we want as much time as possible there. But first, I gotta take a second to thank all of you listening out there and watching. If you don't know, we have a visual version of every episode. We're in high def today, so if you want to check it out on our YouTube, youtube.com/@those4kingfangirls. You can subscribe there for free so you never miss a visual episode. Please leave us a comment with any of your thoughts today, your hot takes. We're doing some Marvel hot takes today, and I'm excited.
Me too.
I am pumped.
I'm ready to throw hands.
Throw hands? What is that? A Gen Z term?
Oh, it is a Gen Z
is.
term.
What is it?
Oh my gosh.
It's like I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna throw hands.
Throw? Okay, when you fight, you use your fists.
Which are your hands?
Yeah.
When you say throw hands, it sounds like this, like flopping your hands around. Like a girl
like a
fight.
bitch slap.
Like a slap, like in friends when they're like,
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Run with it.
all right, I've learned a new term. Because it's like throw down, except the new version.
Mm-hmm.
Throw hands. That sounds really strange. Like you're a serial killer and you have a stock of hands in the closet frozen and you're going to take them out and throw them at people. Yeah, that's what I have interpreted it as. Okay. So we're going to throw hands during the Marvel discussion today. But before that, thank you all. We already started this. Thank you all for listening. We couldn't do this podcast without you. If you haven't already, we'd really appreciate it if you followed us on your favorite podcast app for free. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/those4kingfangirls. And we have 3 different tiers. The thing that we do every single week is a half-an-hour show called Fangirl Tea Time, and that's at the $5 tier and up. And then there's 2 other tiers with lots of fun perks in exchange for your subscription, which is how we run the show. It's a viewer-supported show, so we really, really appreciate you joining our community over there. If you're already part of it, thank you. You make our world go round, and we love you so much. Our community over there is just like the most fun. Mm-hmm. So we're very, very grateful. And if you want to join our community, the link's in the show notes. All right, so we're gonna open this up like we've opened up all of our fandoms. How did you first get hooked into the Marvel universe? And I want to know, like, do you remember the first Marvel movie you watched, your feelings, your thoughts? Kick us off, Taya, our guest.
Hey.
Your origins of Marvel.
My origins of Marvel. You're asking the person with like the worst memory ever.
Marvel origins.
She does have the worst memory
Literally
ever.
the worst. And unless it comes to dates of Taylor Swift news, then it's right there.
She's a date-specific mind.
Yeah. I think my first Marvel movie was the first one that I remember after I gained consciousness as a child was probably Fantastic Four.
Oh my God.
What?
Wait, which Fantastic Four?
the 2005, 2007.
Okay,
with, like,
the one
Jessica
with
Alba.
with the Captain America. In
Yes,
it. Okay.
yes, Captain America guy.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
I was obsessed with those, and my brother and I watched them. It was like the CD that lived in my parents' van.
The DVD.
They're the DVD. Thank you. The DVD that lived in my parents' van. Like that is what we watched all the time, commuting everywhere. So I would say those are like the main origins. But like I think Iron Man was probably the big MCU starter. Like I watched that, and like the I Am Iron Man. I was like, oh, this is my man right here.
Yeah.
And the character that got me hooked into Marvel, obviously, was Iron Man. So
Nice. Natasha, what about you?
I'm going way back to X-Men.
Oh,
I know this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but X-Men was like, because my family was just, we loved all those like big franchise films. And I remember the second one, it was very special because I think I was on like a Girl Scout trip, and then my mom and Alex went to go see the movie without my dad and I.
this is one with Anna Paquin in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Hugh Jackman. And once I came back, I was so sad. I'm like, what do you mean you saw it without me? I want to go watch it. And my dad's like, no, we'll go. We're gonna go to dinner together. And so he took me on like a daddy-daughter date. Went to Islands.
I'll cry. I'll cry right now. That's so cute.
We love Islands,
Yeah.
the burger restaurant.
And then we do. We're big fans. And then we watched the movie, and I just remember like he took me in his like fast car, and it was so sweet. And I was obsessed with Jean Grey at that time. So
Who?
Jean Grey.
Still obsessed with
I
Jean
love
Grey.
her.
Wait, is Jean Grey Anna Paquin?
No.
Who's Jean Grey?
Jean Grey is
Oh, what's
Halle
her name?
Berry?
Famke Janssen.
Yeah.
Famke Janssen. I don't know that
Anna
name.
Paquin is
I don't know.
She's the blue one.
no.
Is
She's
she the
the
blue-
one when you have
No,
the
she's the
hair?
stripe, the thunderbolt. Rogue.
Rogue.
Oh.
Katie. Got it.
Yes.
Like I don't know this actress. Okay. I feel like Marvel or just superheroes and like nerdy things in general, whenever I post about like my relationship with my dad and how he introduced me to it, I get so many girls that comment and they're like, my dad also got me into it. I just think it's the sweetest thing. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if Spider-Man counts as like my first intro into the universe. Does it? Like Tobey Maguire?
it's not MCU, but like
Yeah.
Well, I get wait, is it technically MCU now?
Yes, it is.
It is because it's in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean, that would technically be mine, but like the intro into like the Marvel universe when it really started
Was Iron Man.
was definitely Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like I remember just hearing so much about this movie and I was not interested in it at all based on the title. Iron Man? Like first of all, like I just picture the Iron Giant and I was not a fan of that cartoon. And I like pictured him turning into a robot like a Power Ranger or one of those transformers. Transistors. And I was like, I don't want to watch that. But once I don't think it was out on streaming. There was no streaming. So in 2008, when I was like a freshman in college in my dorm, not talking to anybody, just like waiting for college to come to me, and it wasn't happening. It was the age before streaming, but when like some channels had streamers on their like websites, you know. Yeah. And there were all these sites that like just had movies on them, but like you'd have to find the right link. You guys remember that age?
Did you illegally watch?
I don't know.
That's what it
Maybe.
sounds like you're saying.
Do we need
But-
to cut this?
Are you talking about like TNT and like TBS, like those?
No, I'm talking about a site.
Oh, so you illegally watch?
So this is the thing. I was a poor college student and there was no other way to watch it. It was out of the theater and it wasn't on DVD yet. Okay. So, or maybe it was and I couldn't buy the DVD. Either way, I watched it in bed alone in the depths of the night when I like wasn't out on a weekend.
In the dark of the night. Da, 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 da.
And I fell in love with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, girl, don't even get me
Like I didn't
started.
even know him before that, and then I like went down a rabbit hole to find like all the stuff he had done before, and like watched Chaplin, and
Oh wow.
I was obsessed with Chaplin because with Charlie Chaplin. Well, I was learning about him too because I was a film major. Yeah, so that brought me in, and I was then interested in seeing every other Marvel movie, but I wasn't like obsessed yet, with seeing them because it got to the point where we were like, you have to go to every movie the second it drops.
Yeah. Did
But it
you
wasn't there
guys?
yet.
Did you see Iron Man in theater?
I don't think so. I don't.
I did.
You did?
I remember
Wow.
very, very vividly because my dad was talking about it.
Yeah, my dad was talking about it
Yeah.
too because it dun, dun, like the soundtrack with
Yeah.
like dance music.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it came out in 2008, and so I was in 8th grade.
Oh my God, Putlocker Nicole. Wow, that's
What?
the name of it. I completely forgot about the name Putlocker. That's the site.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Stop.
That's so funny.
No, I remember going with my whole family to watch Iron Man, and then
Oh.
like my dad knew what was happening too. Like at the last end credit scene, he's like, "Yeah, they're gonna make like a
Oh.
whole thing."
Your dad was on top of it.
Yeah, well, Alex was too. So because Alex was like a big comic fan as well, so he loves Spider-Man. And I remember asking him like, "Oh, is Spider-Man gonna be in it?" He's like, "No, Sony has it." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, so they both knew what was
They
going
knew.
on before like
Yes,
the majority did.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nicole's saying Putlocker got her through college, and me too. All right. So I also want to put the foundation here for like the Marvel character that you feel the most kinship with, and why. Why do they mean so much to you? Natasha, do you want to kick us off with this one?
I didn't get to talk about Thor in the other.
yeah,
That's
go.
okay though. I'll put him in here.
Okay.
So I feel like the most kinship to everyone who has lost family, which is a lot of the superheroes. Thor towards the end. But like at first I was obviously obsessed with Natasha because she had my name. At first I was like, oh no, no one has my name. But she's so iconic, and I love Scarlett Johansson. I've watched her since she was like a kid actor and a child actor, and I don't know. She was the only female a part of the MCU for so long, and I just immediately was like, oh my god, I love her, and I love how badass she is. And then like towards the end, I was just devastated.
Yeah.
And
that
then
chair scene was iconic.
oh, the chair scene's
The
iconic. I know. I
intro scene
really
with
want
the
to.
chair.
I
just wanted to be her escaping that room.
I want to do the chair scene.
Yeah, in the Avengers. Yes.
No, I loved her. And then when Wanda came on the scene, she was a twin, and I was like, oh. And then I was like,
family.
oh.
Yeah.
Because she lost him, so that was devastating, and she lost all of her family. So I think the kinship is the losing family, and so Natasha, Wanda, and also Thor at the end too. And I love Thor. Thor was the character that like because I didn't really get Iron Man. He was too much like my dad, like too much like tinkering with things, like making things. And then when Chris Hemsworth entered the scene, I was like, oh,
You would.
who is this? And I remember going back and watching Star Trek because that was his only role prior to Thor. He was in it for a second.
Trek?
You were in deep.
I was in deep. He was in it for a second.
I don't even know about that.
He played Chris Pine's dad. So he was literally in it for a second.
I've
yeah.
actually seen this.
How
Only
did he
because we're
play
different,
Chris
but-
Pine's dad? They're the same
It was a flashback.
age.
It was a flashback. And no, as soon as I saw that first Thor movie and like the cute romance between him and Natalie Portman, I was hooked. I loved it.
Were you disappointed by Dark World?
Oh yeah, I was totally disappointed, but he
Okay.
looked beautiful in that movie,
That
so I
movie
wasn't
was
as
funny,
disappointed.
So I was happy.
happy.
Oh yeah, the first Thor took itself so seriously, and then Thor: Dark World was funny. You
Okay,
know?
no,
Yes, it was.
Thor
What's her
Dark
name?
World was okay.
It was funny. What's that girl's name?
Oh, dark hair, glasses.
Yes.
Oh, I don't.
Two
remember
Broke
her name.
Girls. Okay, she's in it. She brought all this levity that would eventually lead us to Ragnarok levity. You know what I mean?
True.
It brought in the comedy for Thor, and that's what Chris Hemsworth needed to keep going. He wanted that.
But
Yeah.
don't you remember, like, I like this drink, another.
That's the only funny part.
And people ran with it.
They
Oh my God.
really did. Taya, give us your kinship character.
I've been asked this so many times.
We have
so
matching
What
kinship
I'm gonna
characters.
we do. This is gonna be so concise because I have it down to a T. But Spider-Man, Peter Parker, I guess more specifically, because like no matter what he's gone through, like he still chooses to be a good person, and that's just like a thing that I live by now. So, yeah.
What about Spider-Man 3?
What about Spider-Man 3? It gets shat on so much. And listen, I'm not that mad about it. Like,
No, I'm not. I had fun watching that movie the first time. I remember laughing a
it's
lot.
good. And everybody's like,
It wasn't until afterward that everyone started saying that it was shitty, and I was like, was it?
you know what? I think Spider-Man fans are just toxic sometimes. So,
But he does go evil for like a sec, but evil in the way where like you turn off the lights when people are still in a room. Like, it's not that bad.
Spider-Man 3 is iconic. I mean,
It is.
I
The hair,
agree.
The hair,
the
the,
hair,
walk,
the emo.
dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to cosplay as Spider-Man 3. I love Spider-Man so much. And My reason's a little different. He was the first nerd we saw kind of come into their own and find their confidence and then be awesome. And in the early 2000s, late 90s, that just wasn't a thing. Like, it was in Spider-Man, obviously, but like not in main pop culture that we were seeing everywhere. And to see like Spider-Man be Tobey Maguire, like, who was really nerdy looking at the time, I feel like it was just perfect casting and the perfect way to like empower the nerds in high school and middle school in that time. And then when I saw like, that's why I was so disappointed when Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man, because in a way he didn't feel like a nerd to me, like at all. He felt like the cool kid in my school, and I was like,
Are you telling me that Andrew Garfield is not your favorite Spider-Man?
No, she doesn't.
whose favorite Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield?
I
Mine.
love Andrew Garfield.
How can he be over all of the other ones?
Have you seen? Listen,
Have I seen Andrew Garfield?
have you seen him? First of all, but have you seen Tobey Maguire's acting? Might I say, it's not my
In
favorite.
Spider-Man?
He's okay in Spider-Man, I guess, but like
He's a perfect Spider-Man. Excuse me. Let's not compare Andrew Garfield.
Okay, no. The difference between
The difference between you and me is I have class and you don't.
no, the difference between Andrew. The difference between Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire is that Andrew Garfield had all these quick, funny lines that Spider-Man has in the comics, and that was the first time
He's witty.
we didn't get a lot of that from Tobey.
Well, that's why Tom Holland was the perfect one. He had both combinations.
Yes,
He was very funny, and also he was very nerd. Was that someone
was
singing?
me.
Wait, what?
I was going.
Oh my god! I literally thought it was coming from outside, Taya. I was like, who's singing out the window?
I think Andrew Garfield's the perfect Spider-Man, and that's where I'm going to end this conversation.
Okay, well, that's fine. You're allowed, and I'm allowed to say Tom Holland's my perfect Spider-Man.
At least it's not Tobey Maguire.
He's not my perfect. No, yeah, I see.
He's
what-
great.
Like,
He's
I
great.
wanted, like, there's an element of cheese to his movies.
Yes, yeah.
But like, it's very campy in a way that like I can get on board with.
It feels very 2000 Spider-Man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Like, my favorite Spider-Man by far is Tom Holland, and I'm in love with him. And when he did that dance to Umbrella, I wasn't sure about him, and then I watched that Umbrella dance, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in love.
He's it. Yeah.
some person just talked about how that umbrella dance was very revolutionary
Yeah.
for the time, because it was really a cultural reset to see someone who is playing Spider-Man and dressing as a female and just completely nailing
Yeah.
this dance. And we're like, oh yeah,
Because he's trained in ballet, right?
He
Yeah.
is. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
on Broadway as Billy Elliot, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, when a man can dance and
He's
flip
on the
and
West
stuff, I'm just
When
like,
he's got a little bit of like a feminist touch to him, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, sign me up.
it just was sold immediately. And I think that was like right before Spider-Man came out, so it sold everyone on
Yeah,
him before
truly,
the
yeah.
first new Spider-Man came out. It was amazing. All right, we're gonna move into our hot takes before we move into our love takes. we just did
get
some
it
love. We gave a
going.
lot of love out. Now we're gonna shell out some hands.
I'm ready.
All right, Taya,
Should we like alternate?
we'll alternate. You can
Okay.
start us off, Taya.
All right.
Give us your first hot take.
My first Marvel hot take is that I do not want Robert Downey Jr. to come back as Iron Man. Like, even if it's as like a different universe, I feel like
I
they
don't
had.
want any other universes. I don't
Th-
want any
so
other
it's-
Iron Mans.
That's okay.
Never again.
I'm so over the multiverse thing. I'm like, I don't.
Me too.
I don't
That's
want
my
it
hot take, too.
anymore.
I
Yeah,
hate
that's
it.
me. That's also one of my hot takes. Okay, so maybe it's not a hot
Take
take.
the multiverse away.
Please, it's too much.
It's too much, and
don't-
it's lazy writing almost because you can do anything, and I don't
Literally.
like it when there's no guardrails
Yeah,
because
well,
it makes everything
and
not
I feel
matter.
like they really don't have like continuity. Like they'll bring back characters as the same actors as the character from a different universe, but then they'll bring back a different actor as a character from a
Yeah.
different universe. And I'm like, at least be consistent with it so it makes a little bit of sense. Like Doctor Strange, I think is a good one, right? Like every other universe, also Benedict Cumberbatch, but then you have I can't think of one.
In
right now.
WandaVision, when they bring in other actors,
I mean Loki.
Yeah, Loki. Then there's like a bunch of different actors that play different
play
variations of
Loki.
him, and
I
I'm
don't
like,
it.
I just wish that we had like just make it make sense.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. Okay, one of my hot takes, I'll just go into it
Okay,
because it's
that's
the
fine.
same
Yeah.
thing. Okay, there should not have been time travel in Endgame because it cheapened the
Mm.
story. I hated the way the multiverse was
Yeah.
explained because there's so many plot holes.
Yeah.
And it really, like, it's been so strong in every single movie. The storyline is so strong. And then to see them, like, go back in time and then, like, Cap just appears at the end. I just like Eddie goes back. I don't like it because the rules, like, as no matter how many times someone tries to explain it to me,
Yep.
it doesn't exactly make sense.
Mhm.
And I want to feel like they solidly wrote this in a way that makes all the sense because every other movie was like that. It was solid
Mm.
and concrete. And this is just like falling through plot holes everywhere you step.
Yeah. And I think they obviously put the time travel in there because it's set up for the next phases of the MCU.
But the shitty phases.
It makes it feel like what we just witnessed after a
Doesn't
decade
matter.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And even
And I
though
hate that.
Loki is trying to set it up like it was the unbreakable timeline. What was the terminology?
It was I don't remember the terminology.
The,
but
like,
it was what it was.
Yeah.
pretty
So
much.
like they were following this timeline and it was the main timeline. So like, yes, they put it into that perspective for us, but it still feels like something can go back and get changed and like, wait, like
Yeah.
this has changed and now it's not.
Yeah, it
what-
invalidates everything that we've watched happen.
Yeah.
Which and all that stuff means so much to like the core of the fandom. It's the foundation of like why we love it.
Mm.
So to like just erase it so flippantly
Yep.
Mhm.
like hurts and it
Mhm.
makes it feel like you can't trust them as much. It's not as cozy because you can't trust what they're gonna do to the
Yeah.
canon.
Yeah. I did love those sequences that we got to have a lot of like between Iron Man and his dad.
Yeah.
Like those
lot of
scenes,
moments,
those
yeah.
moments were so fun, and watching them, try to sneak around, like it was good to watch. But as far as like the rules being bent, I don't think it was worth it. All right, my hot take is that the team up at the end of Endgame with all the women was not earned, and it felt lackluster because I think Black Widow wasn't there, and also at that time Marvel hadn't done anything. We hadn't had a female like centered movie at
Yeah.
that time,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden we just have all these women come together like
That we've
I'm
never
here.
seen before.
Literally.
But they did it so well, I think, in
Infinity War.
Infinity War,
Yeah.
when Wanda was battling the other female villain,
Mhm.
and then Black Widow's like, I'm here. And
well,
then,
yeah, well, the villain's like, you're gonna die alone,
Yeah.
and she's like, no, she's not.
yeah. And it was,
It's so good.
I just
I know. I tear up every time I think about it. Every time I see it, like I remember in the theater, I was like, oh.
Well, and those are the two girls that we've been with since like really the beginning,
Yeah,
right?
and
Like
then-
since phase 1, phase 2.
Taya
Michonne
was
is there.
there.
Okay. Yeah. And
Okoye.
just the three
Okoye.
of them together kicking ass was so powerful. It was the most powerful female moment we've had in any Marvel movie. I feel
And
like
then
at that
Endgame
point.
just like shat on it. They were like, "Oh, you guys liked it last time? All right, here's all the
I
girls."
mean, they tried, but they didn't give us enough.
no, and it was just like, ugh, well, Natasha's not there, and it's sad because she had to sacrifice herself,
Yeah.
and so
It's not the same.
Sad times. Sad times.
I had to say, Gabby just said Black Widow dying really just killed a lot of the movie for me, and I completely agree. I kind of was just,
It was heartbreaking.
yeah.
I mean, it was heartbreaking, but I also feel like it was one of the better ways for her character to go out.
Yeah.
Because she went out in a way that like she had acknowledged all of her previous struggles through the time that we've
She
seen
had
her in
her
the MCU.
arc. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like a good ending for it.
It was just.
Why would you kill the first female character?
Yeah, it was just the fact that they had no really other fully fleshed out female characters that was really sad about it.
And then they made her solo movie after she died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they didn't give it a good third act. So it was just nonsense at the end. And so you couldn't say it was great because you're like, what happened when they were falling from the sky for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the CG. Don't even get me started on the CGI in that.
Oh my
That
God.
was so bad.
It was
Florence Pugh, though,
ridiculous.
10 out of 10 casting.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
I love her in that role so much. That was not her accent. It was more Ukrainian.
All right.
I'm doing Helena from
Oh yeah.
from Orphan Black. Another hot take I have here is Captain America isn't likable until Infinity War.
I don't disagree. Wait a minute.
Oh,
'Cause no, listen, I was always Team Iron Man. Okay?
Yeah, me
and
too.
and
No.
okay, I was real hard.
Captain America has a stick up his butt.
He does.
No,
They
like,
are not wrong when they
dude,
make jokes about the stick up his ass.
Yeah.
Respectfully, you've been gone for 60 years.
Too
All right,
long,
maybe
yeah.
take a step back and let the people of today's age make some choices. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and he's just like he's so stiff until he gets he gets shaved down by Iron Man almost
Yeah.
and becomes more self-aware,
Mhm.
and that's when he starts to get fun.
yes, yeah.
When he starts
True.
making fun of himself, when he says things like the first bit of it was when he was like, I understood
Yeah,
that
that
reference.
reference
Where
in
was
Avengers.
that? Avengers. Yeah. So he starts to get there more and more, and then like come Infinity War, the entrance of Captain America is iconic.
yeah.
That music and the beard,
And
the
the
new
hair.
uniform. Oh my God. I finally was like, fuck, I like him now.
We just needed the character development, right?
We did. He had a great arc.
He did. He really
He
did.
really did.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did not like the first Captain
Oh
America
no,
movie.
it's my most hated movie.
I did
think.
not like the
Really?
I
second
do
one.
not like it.
I don't think it's
The
that
second one
bad.
is my most favorite movie.
I don't like. Wait, is the second one Civil War, or is
Yeah.
there's another one before that
No,
with
no,
the
no,
red
no, Winter
face?
Soldier.
Civil War.
The red face guy.
Winter
oh wait,
Soldier.
is that Winter Soldier? Red face guy?
No, red face guy, Red Skull is
That's the first one. Okay. Yeah, I didn't like. I didn't like any of the Captain America movies, to be honest, and that's one of my hot takes.
You didn't like Civil War?
My next hot take is the cinematography in Civil War is too shaky. I can't see anything.
I can't argue with
I
that.
don't remember.
Oh my God, it's all I can see. It's like it's like we're
The action,
running all the
yeah.
time. It's like the Hunger Games, the first one with the shaky cam.
Yeah. Okay, this is a hot take.
Okay, I'm ready for it. I got my oven mitts on.
I think no, this is like a PG-13 take, maybe a rated R take. So if
Okay.
there's kids watching, don't watch this. Okay. The MCU needs to be ballsy again. And I know that it's harder because Disney owns them now.
Wait, what do you mean by ballsy?
There's more red
Explain.
tape, but like PG. Okay, remember in Eternals when there was like the sex scene, the PG-13
No, I
sex
forget
scene?
all of Eternals. So went in one ear and out the other.
Fair enough. Okay,
Hot
so
take.
there's like a very brief, like 30-second moment where you see two people and like their shoulders and their head, and you're like, oh, okay, like and like you
Okay.
can assume they
had sex.
did the deed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like the most talked about point of that movie, and I'm like, it shouldn't. Like if we go back to like phase 1, phase 2, like there were many sexual scenes, maybe not sex, but like at least implied.
Yeah, Iron Man.
That kind of like made them
Was
more
a Playboy thrill?
adulty and more like remember when Bruce Banner fell into Natasha's boobs? That was a whole thing. It was a little problematic.
A little.
misogynist.
It was,
but yes.
but it was a thing. It was a thing that happened, okay? But I wish that they would bring more of that like grittiness back, like have some like F-bombs in there, you know? Just make some innuendos.
Yeah,
I mean,
language.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
doing that for Deadpool because they kind of have to now.
Yeah. I
What
really
do you mean they
hope
kind of
so.
have to? They always do that in Deadpool.
Well, because Disney owns Fox. And
yeah, but Deadpool's got to have cursing. It's rated R.
Yes, but now that they have that property, I feel like they could also push the boundaries a little bit more. I feel like they kind of did it for Loki, like the TV show.
What do you mean they did what? Made him more adult?
Well, yeah, because he's like in love with himself, but a different version of it. And it's like a little weird. It's like kind of like Game of Thrones, like weird.
I guess, yeah. But even then, it's still like like not innocent, but it's like there's nothing that really comes of that. It's just like the statement of oh, he likes this other version of himself. Like,
true.
I don't know.
It gets
I
very
just-
philosophical.
It needs to
there.
be gritty. I need.
Can you give me an example
some
of like
spice.
grit?
Do we think are you talking about like DC grit?
Like I hate DC grit. No. Are you talking about like grit like Guardians of the Galaxy 3? It's very gritty.
I wouldn't say it's that
No.
gritty. There was an F-bomb in there.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
There was a lot of genocide in that movie.
Which yeah, but like that is like something that we're very used to. But I mean like
Like Dark Knight.
a little bit maybe, or like
Like
Daredevil.
the Joker.
Have you seen the Daredevil?
Oh
like,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Of
show?
course.
Like
of course.
I'm so worried that they're gonna like not too great with that.
Yeah, I
storyline,
think they
like-
should let the original people do Daredevil. I don't know why they don't, because they were critically acclaimed and everyone loved
Those
it.
shows were phenomenal
Yeah.
and were way better than what we're getting on Disney Plus right now.
It's because it's Disney. Like it has to be kind of kid centric, and it's
But it doesn't have to, because they own adult properties, so they
I
shouldn't
agree.
be doing that. Yeah,
But I feel like it is influencing them to make some choices.
to round it off more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny that we're like the Dark Knight. That is like the grittiest.
It really is. It really is.
That's what came to mind.
Okay,
Okay,
love the Dark Knight.
so my next hot take is that Captain Marvel was way too fucking late to the game, and it was not well done, and it was a terrible origin story because it
should have
wasn't
been an origin story, and it
an
wasn't.
origin
Yeah.
story. It was just I think it was just a film to move the plot of Avengers forward because we needed like
Did we even need it?
we didn't even
need it because they didn't give her an origin story. Like every man got their origin story. No one knows Captain Marvel. Like we needed an OG.
I am gonna dive into this right now.
Hit us.
This was later, but I'm so freaking mad about this. Every freaking female origin story that we've gotten in the MCU was either late or is a show. And I'm like, give our girls a proper fucking blockbuster
Who has
movie.
gotten the proper one? Nobody.
I mean, but even then, it was released on
It was too
streaming
late.
services, and it
Oh,
was
it
too
was-
late.
yeah.
Like,
Wait, she got an Oh, you mean the movie where
yeah,
she?
but even
has-
I mean,
that
I
wasn't
guess
an origin
That
story.
wasn't an origin
yeah,
story.
It was a little bit of an origin story. But like Miss Marvel,
Ms. Marvel was the one of like the best Disney Plus shows, but like it's still a show. It's not
Yeah.
a feature film.
no, exactly, and it makes it feel like these characters aren't taken as seriously,
They're
or like
not.
aren't as important as
Well,
the characters who do get their own films.
Of course, because like WandaVision finally, I mean that show was amazing.
It was so
Oh, yeah.
good.
And then they made a movie that just erased everything they did with the show and her character.
Mhm.
That Multiverse of Madness, which I have down as my most disappointing Marvel
Same.
movie, shat all over the best development they've ever given a female character
Yeah.
in the Marvel universe.
I mean, those writers didn't even watch WandaVision. I
Did they
remember.
not?
No,
Are you kidding me?
They didn't even watch it.
They didn't even do
How
their homework.
can they make these shows and not have the writers watch them because there has to be continuity in
Yes.
the world?
Let me rephrase that. They were writing the scripts at the same time. They didn't reference the WandaVision scripts
Oh my
whatsoever.
God.
They just made their own story.
You guys have one job, and it's to know what you're doing when you're writing a script. Like,
I
You
mean,
wanna look at the
that's
camera,
probably
you
Disney's
guys have
fault.
one job, and it's what to know what you're writing about when you're writing a
The
script.
thing is, like, it's probably not the writer's fault. It's probably the people who were having them write it because they had them write at the
True.
same time and they didn't direct them to be like, these are going to be coming out before this, and this has to be has to have continuity with
even
the
if
story.
they did know like that it was coming out after, I feel like Marvel has been rushing their writers and their editors and everybody so much because they just want to push so many
And they were
things
like, it's
out.
a female character that's a side character, and they didn't give a shit about it. Like, if this was Iron Man, please, bitch, it would have been
never
so
happened.
perfect. The continuity of his character, he would have never gone insane because we love him too much. And because it's a female, it's like, oh, whatever. like that's what it is like because it's a side character to them. I feel like,
Yeah.
sad times.
So angry about it.
Yes.
Give Jennifer Walters a feature film. I'm begging you, please.
Who is Jennifer Walters?
She-Hulk?
She-Hulk.
they didn't give She-Hulk good CGI. And I couldn't even watch it.
It was, that show was fun, but it could have been a lot better. Okay, I just want to go into my hot take about the Disney Plus shows.
Yes, do it.
Okay, so the Disney Plus shows are not good.
Except
they-
WandaVision, which is fantastic.
Yes. But even WandaVision, the last episode, the last act, the last episode was just a finale to a movie. They produced it as a long movie, and I don't think they wrote it for television, because even
It's a mini series.
yeah,
right?
it's a mini series. Even on like WandaVision, the finale episode was just the big battle at the end. Like it did, I don't think it flowed as well as I wished it had, because I don't think they're writing it for television. And they did, Kevin Feige did say that recently, how they are going to start making sure after like the big upset of Secret Invasion, because they had all this expensive talent and it was supposed to be yeah, and it just, this show, I didn't even finish it because I was bored.
First 2 episodes, great. Rest of it,
I was bored.
Wait, which show were you just talking about? I already...
Secret Invasion.
Oh yeah, I just checked out when you said it. I guess I was like Secret Invasion.
Yeah, and I said this in the episode prior, but a lot of what they were doing in the shows, like I couldn't trust that they were using that canon for the films because of what they did.
Yeah, they're not.
For Doctor Strange, and
For how they messed up Wanda. Like she wasn't even a character after we went through all that character development in WandaVision.
maybe they don't take the show seriously too. The same way
No,
that like
they
we
don't.
don't see them as
Well,
Because-
WandaVision was like a big deal.
It
though.
was.
And because
it changed a lot.
Yeah, and because they didn't carry it through with Doctor Strange and they just like messed up her character and rewound all that really beautiful character development, it kind of set a precedent for the movies not having continuity with the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes us not care about the shows because it, like what's cool about Marvel is that everything was so intricately connected.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't carry over, then what's the point?
And I think because they don't have trust in their audience that they're gonna actually watch the Marvel TV shows.
But they still have to like write the character the way that they've developed if they put so much time into a whole series about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump back really quick. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to whoever edits this. I found a really good example for like what I mean by the grittiness.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when Multiverse of Madness was initially announced and they were like, this is gonna be a horror movie? They backed away from it so hard. Like there were rumors that it was gonna be rated R, and then whenever it came, it was what, like PG-13, and it
they
was
still
just
had like
not
moments
scary.
where they were trying to make it hard,
Yeah.
and I was just like, stop.
They need to commit. Like, yeah.
Well, the thing is also they were making it horror with Wanda as their villain.
Yeah.
And it was just so disrespectful, I felt like, to the female characters of Marvel that don't exist. And she's the only one that got a good story. Anyway,
All the female characters either die or become villains.
again, like, if this was Tony Stark, would they ever give him the villain? You know who actually is becoming a villain? Doctor Strange.
Okay, T.
And like he's the one who should be getting a villain arc, but he was like a side character in his own movie, and I don't even remember what happened to him. Nothing in the Multiverse of Madness. It's all about Wanda being destroyed as a character.
I keep forgetting it's a Doctor Strange movie. Technically,
Yeah.
I'm like, where?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be about that new character, the one that Sochi
America
plays.
Chavez.
They should have just gone. They didn't make a decision. Like they didn't go all in on anything. They should have gone all in on her or all in on Wanda in a way that makes sense for what they did with the show.
Yeah. Tiffany, our resident
Writer.
writer on our Patreon says Marvel doesn't know how to run a TV show. They don't properly use writer rooms or showrunners in a traditional way, which is what I was trying to get at, and I didn't know how to put it in that way. So thank you, Tiffany, because that does make a lot of sense on why I think these TV shows aren't as successful and as, I think, copacetic as I wished they were.
Yeah. Can I read y'all some of our listeners' hot takes that they sent in?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Everything is Tony Stark's fault. Hey, we wouldn't have the Marvel universe as it is without Tony fucking Stark.
That's what I'm saying, okay?
Stark.
Don't shit on my man.
Stark Industries Stan. Ew, why are you guys all trying to shit on Tony? Iron Man isn't that interesting? Fuck off. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
This is heartbreaking.
He, unlike any female character, has been given a very, very thorough character arc from playboy philanthropist to like really empathetic, nice, caring human who puts his effort into his family before anything else. Jesus Christ. Eternals is an underrated movie, and there's so many cool things I could see them doing with that. That's from the Mad Shell.
I think I like that because I actually did like enjoy Eternals.
A lot of people loved it, and then a lot of people hated it. I was very mellow on it.
Yeah, I'm also very but I'm more confused by it.
Me too.
I think that I'm like, why was this made?
Yeah.
And why is Angelina Jolie one of the
feel
main characters?
Yeah, I feel like they
don't
didn't go all in on Eternals either. It was like a light skim into the mythology.
Yeah.
Because there's too many characters. So
And again, we also have characters. That's my biggest thing about Marvel is that when someone else has an issue, we're like, well, why isn't this an Avengers level issue? Or like, now that we have the Eternals and they can literally do anything, I'm like, why weren't the Eternals around? Oh, I guess they did explain it in the movie, but I'm like,
also, what about like the giant colossus or whatever?
Yeah.
That's just like chilling in Antarctica. Like it's just nobody noticed that.
Oh my God.
Like,
that was
that's
my
such a
biggest
plot hole.
issue. When that happened, I was like, lol, this is nonsense.
Like it's just so unrealistic. Like somebody's gonna see.
You can't buy into it because
Yeah.
it's so bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
It
how?
felt very Power Rangey.
It
Power
did.
Rangery, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Should have stopped after Endgame. Only Spider-Man still popular since. That's from Sierra.
I
kind of
I don't
agree,
I
but
think
not
they
totally.
should have taken a break.
Yes, that's what they should have done. A breather. Come back in 3 years.
or just have your bearings together before you jump into something.
You know what? Yeah.
I can understand that they looked at this formula that they created and they said, oh, we have origin stories. We bring the characters together slowly. We have a big together movie at the end of the phase. And then we jump in, we introduce more characters. We have another big together movie. And they're trying to follow it
Faster.
much faster in a way that we can't, as the
Keep
audience,
up.
connect with each individual character as much.
Yeah.
And I think faster in the way that the production quality has gotten so bad that I just feel like they care more about the overall story now and the end Avengers movie at the end of the phase more than they care about the individual stories of the superheroes.
Yeah,
And
we
at the end of
can't
the
keep
day,
up.
At the end of the day, the individual stories are what we're here for.
Yeah.
It's why we're invested at all.
Yeah.
And if we're not invested, then there's no point in doing the big story. That's why DC like crashed and burned with everything they tried to make.
Yeah.
Except for the movie about Harley Quinn, which was really fun.
That was really good. And the Suicide Squad. Oh, love that.
Well,
Okay.
because
Oh,
I think we're in phase 5 right now.
I
Yeah.
didn't even
What-
realize
What
that.
was phase 4?
I know. Wait, the only
Dude,
good.
WandaVision was in phase 4.
I know.
It was a while. Like
Well, and then this person said it should have ended after Endgame, but we have to end after Spider-Man No Way Home. We need that in there.
least.
We need that in there. A lot of people saying that Endgame should have been the final movie. No more Marvel movies after that. Wow.
I feel like Spider-Man though isn't even wrapped up. Like I still want another Spider-Man.
I also feel like it's not wrapped up.
No.
Like he's
It made me really sad.
Oh, I want more Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, we're getting more, aren't we?
I think.
they haven't. Yes, yeah. They're 2025, I think, is when they start
Okay.
development.
Yeah. The Spider-Mans have been consistently top notch. So I'm excited there. Katie says solo movies greater than sign ensemble movies when it comes to Marvel. And yeah, I think that's what we were kind of just
Yeah.
saying. Hard agree.
It's where the heart comes from, you know, the
Yes.
soul.
Adia Rose says they've never known what to do with Hulk, and I agree. And one of my hot takes actually that I didn't say is that I hate Hulk meets Bruce Banner in Endgame.
Oh, it's so Professor Hulk.
What the fuck was that? What's the explanation? How did he become that? What he was just like, I just combined myself, but you were two separate people.
You know, I do think that pays homage to the comics. I think that's why they did it, because in the comics, like, I think he becomes Professor Hulk in it, and so they
But
were
like,
like,
we have to see that happen. You
Yeah.
can't just skip
You just
over
pull
it.
up,
I
like-
was just like, what the fuck is this? When I started the end game, I was like, what?
One of my favorite things though about She-Hulk is that she immediately becomes like she can
control herself
control
and-
it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she's like, why? And he's like, what? How did you do that so quickly? She's like, how did you control the anger? Because I've been controlling it my entire life.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I know.
Hashtag women slay.
Dude, I know that show got so much hate, but
Oh,
like,
so
oh
much.
my god, it spoke the mind of so many fucking women.
I wish I could have watched it.
It truly, the CGI wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. I think they just, I don't know. Marvel
But it
fans are
was
turning into
bad.
like Star Wars fans, where they just hate everything.
The thing is though, like it's hard when we're used to seeing Hulk in the movies, and then you see the Hulk in the show, and it just looks so cartoonish. It completely takes you out of it. Like they put in so much money into the movies, so they kind of have to be consistent if
Yeah.
they're going to bring the same character.
Yeah.
Hawkeye should have died, not Black Widow. I think we kind of alluded to that earlier, right? For him.
I'm gonna stay with my opinion that I am happy that Natasha died in the way that she did.
Yeah.
Because it was very fitting for her character. I'm not happy that she died.
That
I
was
wish
from
she didn't.
Porter Natalie
But-
51.
I don't like that sentiment that because Hawkeye shouldn't have died because he had a family, because I feel
Yeah,
like
of course.
both of their lives are just as worthy, even if
Yeah.
she just found Elena.
Yeah.
She
Just
found
her
her.
family.
Yeah. As a movie story construct, they set it up like that for us to like be pulling for him for that reason. I think that's
That's upsetting.
it's
Didn't-
upsetting. It's like the
didn't
way
she
society views people who have a family versus who are on their own.
Didn't she literally say earlier in the movie too that she had finally found her family, like in the Avengers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, wasn't she saying that? Yeah, her family was the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like I think if the Black Widow movie came before Infinity War, that I think people would have been pulling more for
And
Black
if they
Widow
made
to
it better.
survive. Yeah.
Like, I just can't get over the end of that movie. I don't like
It
it
hurts
because of
me.
it.
It hurts me.
I
I was just gonna say, I remember like sitting in the theater during Endgame, and I didn't cry when Natasha died initially. Actually, I didn't cry the first time around.
wow.
Period. No,
Wow. What?
no. I remember like sitting in the chair, and it was when Tony Stark died for me. Like that was my breaking point. That's when I could not hold it in anymore. I was literally cradled into myself and like holding in my like
Yeah,
That was
sobs.
like during Spider-Man No Way Home, like next to
I
just
I was like, I cannot believe I'm so invested in a fictional character right now. This is embarrassing.
That's our lives.
I know.
You really do become connected to them.
Yeah, you do. They become real, and that's what's so beautiful about the writing and stuff. You're so invested because they feel very real, and you connect them to people in your own life. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Captain Marvel, Brie Larson?
I
Right, because she
don't
gets
care
so much
about her
hate.
don't
because the
care.
movie didn't make us care about her because we got no origins.
I liked when she came in and saved the day in Endgame and like went through the ship. That was cool.
Yeah,
And I love Ms. Marvel.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, I like Brie Larson as a person.
Dude, that's what I like can't get over is like she gets so much hate online, and I'm like, why are we hating on the actress?
Oh,
like
I
when
know.
it's
That's
probably the
terrible.
writing. Like
It is. It's the way that they made it the movie, like about some random incident in her life instead of how she got to who she is.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm pretty sure she had like 20 seconds of screen time in Endgame too. Like she came in, saved the day, and that was it. And they were like,
Yeah.
bye.
Like, we need to know about her family and how she was raised and like just the people that she loved and what happened, her relationships with them. Like, we know nothing about that. We know very little about her best friend. And
Yeah.
her dog.
We haven't seen the Marvels yet, so
True.
We don't know if that ever came into play.
But it
But
should have been the
it
first
should have been
movie.
because we
Yeah.
would have been maybe more excited to watch it.
Do you guys think that like the men that don't like Captain Marvel, like, because there's like a huge conversation around it that like they're like misogynistic and that's why they don't like her?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I feel like that's part of it, of course, but I also feel like she hasn't been given like an endearing story for us to watch.
Mhm.
So there's also that, which also I feel like is part of the misogyny of the whole MCU. Because why didn't she get an origin story?
Yeah.
Everyone else did. And people are like, because we're tired of origin stories. It's like, no, we're tired of origin stories for the same male characters over and over
Literally, yeah.
again. But every other story we see is a fucking origin story. Every movie you watch is an origin story.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like, we don't know those people and we're getting to know them. I don't love her because I don't know her.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
Like we are different. We're not endeared to her like we were like Black Widow, because even though she shouldn't get an origin story, like we still saw her interact with our main crew.
Yeah.
We learned with
We
her.
learned, yeah.
We don't see her at very vulnerable moments of her like human life, which is what we need to connect with like who she is as a person. And also there's like the Superman syndrome kind of that makes her less endearing because she's all powerful.
Yeah. My last hot take, can I say it?
Tell us.
I think Bucky and Natasha should have had a thing.
Oh yeah, they have a thing in the comics.
I know.
Girl, read that shit.
I have.
There's.
Have
you read the fanfics?
I've read the fanfics. I love them. I do think it would be fun if Bucky and Yelena had something.
Ooh, but that's kind of, I don't know, like him being.
I
with
want
her
Yelena
sister.
and like Hawkeye.
They
Girl.
never-
What's her name?
Oh, Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, I'd
Haley
be
Steinfeld.
so
Yeah,
down
yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
bro.
Why can't I remember her name?
Kate Bishop.
I thought you were about to
Kate
say
Bishop.
Hawkeye. I'm like, he's married.
No, Hawkeye girl.
Yeah,
Could-
Hawkeye girl.
Why is it called? Okay, because no one knew who Kate Bishop was. I was like, why is the show called Hawkeye? I loved that show. That's the best Marvel show for me behind WandaVision,
was
and
really
no one
good.
talks about it.
It's like a holiday must watch for me now. Like during
Yes,
Christmas
I'm
season,
gonna
I'm like,
watch it again. Yeah.
I loved it.
should I have a little watch party?
Yes,
Why
yeah.
not?
Okay, last thing I want to bring up
Yeah.
is Taylor Swift might come into the MCU as the Dazzler. Have you guys heard about that?
I
have.
have rumblings.
I think she's gonna come in like Brad Pitt came in for Deadpool, like, and was freaking.
And then murdered right after. I don't even remember.
Yeah,
him.
he was invisible, and they used his voice, and then he died by being electrocuted. I think it's gonna be like a little cameo.
like in that movie where she gets pushed in the street and run over, and it's just a meme.
Yeah.
I could see like a Harry Styles moment. I feel like she'll physically be there, but maybe like an end credit scene or post credit scene or like just very quick.
It kind of feels really weird for me to like imagine it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really right now see her doing it because she's like the biggest star in the world.
literally the biggest one.
She
yeah.
would do it for Ryan and Blake, though.
She would
She
do it
would
for
do
Ryan.
it. That's
she
what-
would be in his movie.
Yeah, that's what the rumors
Oh, is that
are.
what the Dazzler is?
Yeah, it's for
She-
Deadpool.
Oh,
that-
then I think she is doing it.
'Cause
Oh, sorry, I
Deadpool-
didn't know the
Deadpool's
name.
free. Did you see that? Like she was at the football game with
Yes.
Ryan and then Hugh
Yeah, the
Jackman,
director.
And, like it's
Yeah.
it's there right in front of our eyes. Like I feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right. We're going to roll into some Marvel love. We're going to talk about the best Marvel movie ever made.
Oh.
What do you think it is? Taya, you want to kick us?
What if I have two?
You can say them because I'm going to say two.
Right, okay, I'm gonna move this over a little bit so I can like see it better. Okay. I think Endgame is one of the best. Don't even. I know it's basic, but also controversial at the same time. Okay, all right. People are so no.
Because it's basic. I just think the time travel ruined it.
It did introduce time travel into the MCU, which has led to like everything else. Like it opened the window, right? Which
We
obviously
just talked about
I know,
how
we
it's
talked about-
bad.
I know, but it did. It introduced it, okay, and
This
that's
feels very
it did.
contradictory.
It established it, okay, and it did do that for it, okay.
It brought in the bad part of the MCU.
Oh my gosh.
And then we got all of like our little moments, all like the little callbacks and like references to the comics, like Cap saying like Avengers Assemble and like him like coming in with
True.
wielding the hammer. Like these were all like such iconic moments. We already talked about this, but Natasha got her like full circle moment for her character arc. I know you guys don't love it, but I do. Falcon got Cap's shield, and I just feel like it was like the perfect amount of nostalgia and callbacks paired with the proper building blocks and foresight for the future of the MCU.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Valid. It's fine. It's a fine opinion.
And then my other movie that I think is one of the best ones that they've ever made is Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Not only did we get Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, and then Michael B. Jordan as one of the greatest MCU villains that we have seen on screen, we got a film with cultural significance for the first time. And I know that this means so much to so many. Like superheroes are literally created to be someone or an idea to look up to, and like seeing the impact that this film had on my friends was like fucking beautiful. I don't, you know Quiba, right? Like seeing the impact on them specifically was just like it changed a lot inside of me to like help like it helped me understand more about
How that was needed.
yeah. It was the start of more diversity in the MCU, which we're seeing now in phases 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, I wish that like they like in phases 4 and 5 they put more effort into making these diverse movies just as good as the original basis movies. They've been half-assing the past few years.
Yeah. I did like Shang-Chi. I did like that.
It was
one.
good, yeah.
But they did the same thing where they didn't know how to end it, and it was just like a bunch of nonsense at the end. That like this is what DC does all the time. Like when they have a good movie, they usually have like a good act 1 and 2, and then act 3 is like, what the fuck's going on? Like, like when you can't bring it home, it kind of like it sits weird with you.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. Because like the beginning of Shang-Chi was so fun, and then at the end I was like,
Sean.
oh, Shang-Chi, damn it, it was so fun, and then the end I was like, what's happening?
I know, it was like it turned into like a world-ending thing all of a sudden, and we were like, wait, how did we get here?
And the CGI was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
It was just a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Natasha.
Okay.
Best Marvel movie of all time.
Best movie of all time is Winter Soldier. Okay, that is where we got our director duo.
I'm watching Christine's reaction right now. I'm ready for this.
This is not. I love this film because it's a spy film and
because Bucky's in it.
and Bucky's in it
Sebastian
and
Stan is in it.
and Black Widow's in it, and I love the spy filmness of it. Like it felt very grounded, and like I could trust when things were happening that they were either going to be destructive or something or other. But we have like such amazing sequences in that film that where you don't need a big space battle to feel the impact of it, and I think that's very hard to do in an MCU movie. And I mean the sequence with Nick Fury and him in the car against Bucky was such a great scene, and it's still one of my favorite scenes, and him just freaking out and the comedy aspect of it, and also just like that film felt gritty. And then we had amazing soundtrack for Bucky too. Like I still get chills when he shows up in that Nick Fury scene, and then also when they're just driving on like with Falcon and Natasha and driving on that freeway overpass, and he just comes out of fucking nowhere and like stops the car. That whole end sequence is so great. Yeah, and then also like the flirtation with Natasha and Cap is so nice.
I liked that.
Yeah,
That movie was also shot like Civil War with the shaky cam, and I mean that one I didn't not like it as much as I didn't like Civil War, but it goes in one ear and not the other too. Every time I watch it I forget the whole thing.
it's my comfort Marvel movie.
It's a lot of people's favorite. I've heard that a lot, and I just like it doesn't click with me, I guess. I just don't love it like that. But I can see why. I am a sucker for a movie that like beautifully wraps together a million different character storylines, because that in itself is so hard and so easy to fuck up. And Infinity War is such a triumph, in my opinion, of like a perfect balance of so many different storylines that are so meaningful to us when we watch them. Like they're all moving, they're all have us on our edge of our seats. That movie was so fucking good. When I got out, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
they did that. and they did it well.
And it was one of the first superhero films that we had seen that didn't have a happy ending, and I think that was like game
It made an
changing.
impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody was like, "What just
Yeah.
happened?"
Yeah, it was so traumatizing at the end, but like in a good way. It was so devastating.
Yeah.
Okay, I also have the first Avengers because
Yes.
that's really what got me like super invested, because they're like, whoa, they brought together all these people with individual movies. Like, that's never been done before.
And successfully too.
Yeah, and very successfully. I think that is the most accessible Marvel movie to like any random who hasn't seen any of them. Like, you're gonna love all these characters, even if you don't know who the fuck they are at all.
And
like,
it's the OG6 too. Like
It is.
they banded
it's
them together.
The
you know?
banter, the
Mhm.
writing is so good in
It
that
is.
movie.
Clench up, Legolas.
I will never forget the first time watching Iron Man and Thor fight, and like, doth thou know, mother, know you wearest her drapes? Like, what a beautiful line! Like, that banter in that scene is perfect, because Thor is like, he's just at the moment where he's starting to turn more comedic, and again, like, Iron Man really rubs off on everyone, like, because Iron Man was funny, like. His whole movie, it's so much comedy, like perfectly balanced with all the drama, and everyone else like slowly gets funnier as we get into the MCU. And I have Spider-Man No Way Home on here because that's a triumph too.
Also another movie that does not have a happy ending.
Yep. When the not happy ending is done right, like, and we care so much, it hits hard in a good way.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Funniest Marvel movie that they've ever made. Natasha, you want to hit us with yours?
Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Genius comedy.
So good. That entire movie just like flip Thor
It's
on
a
its
brother
head.
movie.
It is a
and
brother movie.
I love it so much.
I love Thor and Loki together.
Yes.
But I mean, even like the Thor and Hulk stuff too was very brotherly as well. Like, it's a friend from work.
Yeah,
But-
that was a genius line.
But I will never forget how loud I laughed when Thor was retelling the story of how Loki was a snake and then he like transformed out a snake. And I just remember Alex and I just like, and we didn't even hear the whole thing. We just laughed because we knew the sentiment was going to be funny.
It was very much like Olaf in Frozen 2 when he was retelling
Yes,
everything
yes.
Frozen 1 and Ash is dying then too.
And also, isn't that the movie where Loki goes, "I have been falling for 30 minutes," and it was like definitely the start of his like hair flip thing.
It was so funny.
Tom Hiddleston's delivery too is so good. Was that the movie that they did Get Help?
Yes,
We're not
yes.
doing Get Help.
Yes, and then they did get help. It was awesome. Like, and then there's when he gets to the planet, like, there's just this hilarious like Willy Wonka reference scene when like Thor is like
Yes.
going through that
Yes.
weird ride. It's just like, it's so funny. Everything in it is so well done, and I love the brother love.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that. I feel like with Thor,
Yeah.
top notch. Taya,
I just want you.
funniest movie.
I just want you
Yeah.
to know that I put this one just because you put Ragnarok down because I was
I
like,
know.
I can't say it
I
again.
put mine too. I
But
was
Ragnarok
like,
is
we
definitely
It is.
But I said to change to be different. Guardians of the Galaxy. That was,
Yeah.
I just feel like that was such like a reset for the MCU. Like they realized, oh my god, we can have so much fun with these movies. Like this audience is like, we rock with them. Like
Yes.
soundtrack was amazing. I think there was a lot of moment like Star-Lord dancing. Like
Mhm.
that,
There's so many moments.
You know, I
like, I want that guy's leg, and I will get it. Like,
No, Drax is my favorite. I think someone put down Drax.
Yes, no, I
he
fuck
has
with
so many
Drax.
amazing lines.
Yeah.
Like, I'm moving very slowly. You can't see me. A line that could not be delivered by anyone.
No.
It had to
I
be
went-
delivered by him.
I went through such a Dave Bautista phase after Guardians 1 and 2 came out. I was like, I'm in love with this man. Like,
Wow. I've never heard that before.
yeah.
Yeah, you have down the Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yes,
Wow. That
yes.
hit.
I'm
That
Mary
was great.
Poppins,
I'll never forget Comic-Con one year. We saw
Yondu.
a Yondu dressed in Mary Poppins.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And he had the umbrella.
Amazing.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
it was so good.
Yeah. Wait,
It's
was
just
I
like-
there? I saw that too. I,
think
feel
so. That was
like.
when we were in our Infinity Stone
Yeah.
get-ups.
Yeah.
I feel like the jokes in it are so timeless too.
They
Like,
are.
They're still funny.
They're so good.
So good.
I have Guardians 3 down. And this movie, again, it was like devastating, but also hilarious at the same time. And that is the best way to do comedy. Comedy comes out of the tragedy. And you would be hysterically crying and then hysterically laughing. All of the comedy moments, I think, hit like extra hard for me in my theater because I was like hysterically laughing. And like some of the times the theater was just quiet. Like, okay, the moment where they get on that planet in the colorful suits and they're like pushing the buttons, like, I was dying. I couldn't stop. Like, the blue button means green, and like, it's just, and then he's like pronouncing his love to Gamora, and like everyone can hear you, and this is so embarrassing.
Dude, whenever Nebula couldn't open the car door, I was
Oh
losing
my
it.
Yes.
God. Okay, I have a joke like that in my new book that I was writing, and then when it was in Guardians, I was like, oh no, everyone's gonna think that I took this joke from them. I left it in because I still think it's hilarious. There's so many funny moments though. Like, it was just, I need to watch it again. I haven't watched it again because it was like such a perfect first watch.
It's also like incredibly traumatizing. So I'm
Yeah.
like, avoiding it.
Yeah, I know, but like I want to watch it again also because the comedy was
Yeah.
so strong.
I think it was like the first time we saw, I think our characters like used the restroom and like Gamora was like going to the bathroom.
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah,
when did you go
yeah.
to the bathroom?
It was when
It was
she
towards
was
the
on
end.
she was on the ship by herself and then someone
It was when they had landed on the
Oh,
planet.
yeah,
with,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
animal
On the
heads,
not Earth
yeah.
planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. As we wrap up here, I want to hear a story of one of your favorite memories of seeing a Marvel movie in theaters. Tay, you want to kick us?
Dude, again, worst memory here. Like, I seriously, I think my earliest memory that I can recall right now is
It doesn't have to be earliest.
seeing, well, yeah, I guess. But like seeing Endgame in theaters, like that is one of the only times I remember.
Wow, this is a recent one.
And it was dramatic.
Wow.
Like, I was crying.
Yeah.
This was actually kind of cool. Okay, so I was still in college at the time. I think in my sophomore year, and I was finishing up finals because it came out like April 28th. Why do I know that?
It was that time. It was right before
yeah.
my book came out. Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
2019.
Yeah. And it was a Friday, and I wanted to go see the movie, and it was my last day of finals week. I had taken 5 exams that day, pulled an all-nighter, and I lived in Orlando at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna go to Disney Springs after my finals, and I'm gonna go watch this movie. I am a dumb bitch, and I didn't buy my ticket ahead of time.
Oh,
So-
no.
but I was like, oh, it'll be fine, whatever. So I get there. Yeah. So
Oh my
so
gosh.
I get there and I like go to the theater. They're like, we don't have tickets, like what? And I'm like, fuck. And so I'm like walking around Disney Springs. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. I worked so hard and I didn't plan and whatever. And I just happened to like swing by again on my way out. And they're like, a theater literally just opened like 30 seconds ago. Like they had like made a new screening that night at the theater. And they were like, it starts at 7
Oh,
o'clock.
shit.
And I'm like, oh, fucking bet. And so we like snag our tickets.
Bet.
And I was with a friend, but we got to go see it that night. So
Nice.
yeah, it was great.
Nice.
Didn't get tickets.
Are you shocked?
No, I'm not.
Exactly.
What about you, Natasha?
I mean, my favorite moment is your favorite moment, but I do have to say I have seen almost every single one of these Marvel films on like the night before opening night, and it was so fun when I lived in my hometown because our like home theater, like our main theater, like everyone was there, and I have so many memories of like running into people, and like our entire theater for Endgame was like the big one, and it was so many people from my high school and like all who were in the community, like we were all filling up that theater. And I remember seeing Endgame and I sat next to Alex, which is usually never happens sometimes because he likes next to his friends, but like we sat next to each other. And when when Natasha died, like I was racked with sobs. I remember Alex like putting his hand on my knee and it was
Oh.
like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, that's not my favorite. My favorite moment is the one that Christine's probably gonna talk about.
Well, are you talking about Spider-Man No
Yes.
Way Home? Okay, yeah. I almost didn't talk about it because I thought you for sure were going to talk about it.
Oh, that's
Okay.
the best one.
So, yeah, I mean, like, we've talked about this, I feel like, on the podcast before, but, like, Spider-Man No Way Home, I think we were all at that premiere, and it was the most magical movie-going experience, I think, of, like, my life. Like, we were all in a theater full of fans that were so excited about it, and that movie was a roller coaster of emotions. And I just remember, like, I feel like at one point Natasha was like, shh.
Yes, because because
was
you were
like-
so when Christine gets
I was
excited.
just, like, so in the movie. I was like talking. Was I
No,
saying
no,
things?
no, no, no. It was you were moving so much that you were
Oh.
disrupting the person on the other side of you, and you were like this was her like violent on me.
Oh my god.
I'm like, stop.
And there was just like so many Easter eggs in that movie, like when Daredevil showed up, and then like of course like all of the different Spider-Man showing up, and like I hadn't seen one trailer, I didn't seen posters, like I was spoiled for like just seeing the poster. I was like, wait, Doc Ock is in this? Like I didn't know anything, and it was just so nostalgic. The Green Goblin was like perfect in it. Yeah, I had such visceral reactions. I was wearing a mask. Some people weren't. Like some people were past it by like that time in December 2021, but I was like still in it. And my mask was just like covered in tears and snot. Like,
Yeah, I'll never like. Hope says this is a spoiler if you haven't seen No Way Home, but I will never forget when all the Peter Parkers came on screen in No Way Home. Like how excited, because we all
screamed, the whole theater screamed,
and like we're like, yes, and like it's gonna happen, and they did such a good job of lying to us. And I was so happy for that, and that we got to see it.
Yeah.
Also, like on premiere night before anyone else did. And before we got
There was just so
spoiled.
much hype built
Yeah.
around it that really like made the experience.
Yeah, I'll never forget the specific shot of Zendaya falling, because like that shot has burned into my mind from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Like, and when Gwen is falling, and like I immediately started just like, ah! Like, because I was like, he's gonna catch her, and they're gonna come like full circle with his loop, and it was so beautiful. There were so many full circle moments like that hit home in the most beautiful way. Like they did it so well, and again, no easy feat bringing in all these different timelines.
Truly,
And they killed it.
Yeah.
I have down Avengers too, because like I said, that was like what brought me in, because like I thought I was like a Justice League girl because I watched that cartoon growing up. Did you guys watch
No,
it?
I feel like everybody was a DC person, right?
Yeah,
like
we were.
if somebody asked you to name a superhero when you were little, you're gonna say Superman, right?
Yeah, or Batman.
Or who was gonna say Iron Man?
Or like the Wonder Twins. Like
like Wonder Woman, even, you know.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
I mean, Marvel did amazing job by making.
they made themselves relevant.
Yeah, making us care and making
Yeah.
them relevant again, because no
I didn't
one
know anything
knew.
about these people.
I
Aside from
only knew
Spider-Man.
Captain America and like Spider-Man. That
I
was
didn't
it.
know anyone but Spider-Man.
Same.
Yeah, because the Spider-Man cartoons were on, like I watched Cartoon Network, so I saw all these like old cartoons. I guess I don't know when the Justice League cartoon.
Well, and X-Men is Marvel, but they never had that property, and
Yeah.
I watched the X-Men cartoon, so
they killed it.
Good job, guys.
Good job, everyone in like the viewer responses here. I mean, listener responses. I'm so used to saying viewer. Like, are getting so down on like how they're like just shitting the bed now. But the thing is, they were so good for so long, and I don't want their reputation to be like shitty because now they're like not doing as well, because they really were revolutionary in terms of like film in general. No one's ever done something like Infinity War.
They built a fucking empire
Yes.
based off of superhero films,
Yes.
comic films, and I think they need so much credit for that. And like, I think people are holding them to this super high standard now.
Yeah. And
it's-
they do need to take a break.
Yes, yeah.
But like there's still their reputation forever, I feel like, will be like legend.
yeah. That's what is the saying, like they hit themselves on their own foot or
Shot
They-
themselves in their own.
yeah.
Or like they beat the horse dead.
Yeah.
Beat a dead horse. That's what it is.
Really graphic one.
They really needed to do what Hunger Games did, which was
Take a break.
Take a big
Take a
5-year
break.
break.
Run away with me for the summer.
Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry.
All right, y'all. We're gonna end this with if you could cast an actor in the MCU that's not in it yet, who would you want to see join the team?
Okay, I want to see Adam Driver. Did you think I was gonna say Henry Cavill? Henry's
I
already
would
been
like
a
that
superhero.
actually.
Henry or Adam?
Oh, okay, she added him.
Adam Driver or Henry Cavill,
As-
just
as
to
who?
clarify.
Okay. I would like to see Adam Driver as like
Snape.
that's
Severus
another franchise
That's what I want to
as
say.
Doctor Doom. Is that what from
Oh,
Fantastic
oh,
Four?
yeah.
This is actually not my casting. I stole this from Tessa Netting, but she made me fall in love with this type of casting, and I would love to see him as like another villainous character in a big franchise film again, so that I can obviously fall in love with him.
Alright.
But yeah, I think he would come. I think like I would be obsessed with it again if he was in.
If he was cast.
If he was cast, yeah. I don't want to see Henry. I think Henry's already done Superman. He doesn't need to be another superhero again.
All right. What about you, Taya?
Listen, I'm in my Andrew B. Feldman era.
Who-
Do you guys know who that is?
Wait,
No.
I've heard the name,
No,
but
he
I
was
can't
in
put a
Dear
face.
Evan Hansen.
Oh, is he the main guy?
No hard feelings. No hard feelings. He was the kid.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
Oh my
obsessed with
god!
him
I
right
saw you
now.
put him on your stories, and I was like, "Wait, does he have a YouTube channel? What is this?"
I think he started. He's still like 20. 20? He's younger. And he made it to Broadway while he was still in high school. Like he was in Dear Evan Hansen. He posted on YouTube
Oh,
prior.
did I see him in Dear Evan Hansen?
Maybe,
shit.
probably. He's incredible. I'm obsessed with him. But I would love to see him as one of Wanda's kids, one of her twins,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
as like Billy. I think that'd be really fire.
Cool.
So Marvel, get on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have thoughts on this. Like, I don't know any new character. I feel like I'm kind of out of the universe right now. I'm like in the old universe and not in the new.
Well, do you have like an actor that you would just love to see like show up?
Only if the movie was good.
Well, just let's say the movie's good.
If it's a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, maybe I could see Robert Pattinson.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, but he's Batman.
That would be so funny, actually.
That would be iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like him joining the Guardians would be hilarious.
Mm.
I don't want to really see him playing Batman more because it's kind of boring because it's so close to who he always plays. Like if he
Yeah.
played someone like funny, I think
And
that'd be
quirky.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a weird person.
Because he's weird.
Like yeah, like weird in a funny way, like kind of like Star-Lord rather than weird in like an emo I love the color black way. Like
The sun hurts.
that's always him. I don't go out in the sunlight. All right, we're gonna wrap up with Mary Kiss Cliff. Loki,
was so good.
Wanda, or Thor?
Mary Kisscliff.
Yep.
Ooh, brother.
I am going to marry Thor.
Surprise, surprise. It took too long.
Well, I know. I was yeah. I am going to kiss Loki,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to cliff Wanda.
Cliff Wanda.
You know, I feel you on this because I'm kind of scared now with
Yeah,
Wanda.
she's a little scary.
She got scary because they've destroyed her.
But what's a kiss? you
She
know?
also is.
What's a
Enemies
kiss if
turn
it's
lovers.
poisonous?
She's brokenhearted.
What if she eats your tongue?
Why would she eat my?
I don't think she's
tongue?
emotionally available.
Why do you need that for somebody that you're kissing?
Because I want to kiss Loki.
Don't
Okay.
want to kiss someone who's not emotionally available.
Okay, me. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna second that, right? Because Thor, I want to stare at that every day. Okay.
Yeah.
Loki, I do kind of wanna. I wanna kiss him.
Oh my gosh, and
what-
it could be
that'd
like
be so much fun.
a brothers love triangle.
Excuse me?
Wait, I'm
that's our
totally
favorite
gonna do
thing.
that because that's my favorite.
Our favorite
Yeah.
thing is we
the
love
brothers who are in love with the same person.
Yes.
I am not into that. Okay.
Vampire Diaries.
Wait,
Summer I Turned
I've
Pretty.
never
Yeah.
watched any of that.
What? Taya, what?
Oh my god, now I know what we have to watch next.
Wait.
I'm
after-
just not into it.
Wait, do you know that you're not into it though? Because the Vampire Diaries is excellent.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a fair shot. Okay.
Give it 5 episodes and you will be hooked forever.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll get back to you guys on this.
My college roommate, my senior year roommate, she said that like, and then she was in her room for 72 hours straight and she came out and she's like, Christine, I'm watching it this entire time. All right. So you are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing too.
Oh no.
So we've tripled down on marrying Thor and kissing Loki and clipping Wanda. And then if I kiss Loki, maybe I could be friends with Taylor Swift.
He just definitely does not keep in contact with Taylor
No,
Swift.
but maybe he has his
They're
contact
exes.
information, and then like somehow it could be like, "Hi, I want to be your friend."
I feel like
Let me
Chris
have
Hemsworth might have a better chance.
I would agree.
because he might be more of a kin to Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
Yeah.
They seem like they'd get along.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right.
So go that route. Go that route.
Who just called? Oh, I was like, who just called Chris out? It was Aquaman. What's his name?
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
Why did he call
Called
him
out for what?
Because he's like, look at my guns. I didn't have to work for them. And then Chris is like, yeah, they're all padded. They just had like a little social
Oh,
media
it was a cute
off.
thing.
Oh.
It was a cute
It was a
thing.
cute
Oh,
thing.
okay. It was a cute
Okay,
thing. That's
okay.
cute.
All right. Well, I think that is going to be our first Marvel episode. That was so fun. Thank you for being here with us, Taya.
Thanks for
Can
having
you
me.
let everyone know where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, my username is my name, so it's Taya Taya Miller with 2 R's.
2
um,
L's, 2.
2 L's, 2 R's. I'm on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. I post a lot of Marvel shit.
Her links
so
will be in the show notes. I was going to say description.
that's much more efficient. Yes.
Yes, yes. You can find those forking fangirls also on social media. Our links are in the description, but we are at those forking fangirls on Instagram and TikTok and on YouTube. And then it doesn't matter on Twitter, but we're like at Fork Fangirl Pod or something. The link's in the show notes. But we are so glad y'all hung out with us today. Thanks for being here. And we release episodes every Friday. I'm Christine.
I'm Natasha.
I'm Taya.
We'll see you next time. We're about to go record Fangirl Tea Time. So if you're interested in listening to that, you can get it on our Patreon from the $5 tier and up. And
Also, thank you so much to our editors, Alex
Yes,
Polis,
oh my
Jake
God.
Needham, Chloe
you.
Lowerson does our
Socials.
socials, and it's
Our-
music by
yeah.
Cole Jenkins and vocals by
Heather
Heather Traska. We will see you guys next Friday.
Bye. I messed up our outro.